everybody. Howdy, everybody. Colorado biker and Orthus out here on our daily 2.5 mile walk. I'm on the downhill stretch now, so I'm not huffing and puffing. It's not as easy as you'd think at 9,600 feet. So, anyway, it's been a while since I made a video, so I thought I'd come back and give you all guys some new content. Sorry, I've been lax. I've been having a lot of stuff going on, so, but I finally have the time to do it. So we're going to do it. We're going to make another video. And in light of recent weather events, I thought it would be good to talk about heating for this winter. Now, not only this winter, but any winter, for when it gets cold out there. So, and my voice may sound a bit muffled. It's 21 degrees up here, while other places in the state are below 0. And that's because we have something called an inversion. Cold settles, heat rises. So actually up here on the mountaintop, it's warmer than down in Denver, about 50 miles or so away. So anyway, yeah, it's actually warmer up here, but it's still cold. It's 21 degrees with about a 20 mile an hour occasional wind chill. So it's 0. So, but it's not bad. And if you're geared up for it, that is doable, easily doable. Actually, Orthus and I were out walking the other day when it was negative 15. So he had his booties on and he had his harness, which gives his main body torso some extra insulation. And with this kind of energy level, he's not hurting for heat. He's burning lots of calories right now because he is a 16-month-old working line German Shepherd puppy. They say, oh, they're not a puppy once they're a year old. Bullshit. It takes until they're about 2, maybe even 2.5 before they calm down. So anyway, heating. Well, there's the typical heat that you have in your house, usually forced air, natural gas. Some people have oil burners, and other people have electric. And of course, electric baseboard is probably the worst, energy consumption wise, that old system. Some have steam, the old city steam heat in big cities like Chicago, New York, places like that. So, but we're not really talking about that. That's typically pretty reliable, except when the power goes out, as unfortunately a lot of Texans have found out, and other people throughout the entire southeastern United States, because their systems are not designed or insulated against the kind of cold they've had recently. And this can happen to a lot of places. So, and if you don't have electricity, that forced air heater doesn't do any good. There's no electricity to power it up, power the fans, anything like that. So having alternative heating methods are important, especially if things go bad. So one of my favorites is just my old wood stove. You know, there's lots of wood out there, there's lots of trees, and you can usually stack up a bunch of wood. You know, you can get it for free sometimes. You go out and volunteer to cut down dead trees for people, things like that. And you can stockpile quite a bit of heat. You'd be surprised. Now in the wintertime, that's the primary method for heating our house, is our wood stove. And I have my solar backup system, my solar powered battery bank backup system to power that for if and when we do lose power for long periods of time. So I am set, even if we do have a massive event with power going out locally, I can still run the wood stove. Can't run anything else in the house, but that's enough to keep the house warm. That's all I'm really worried about. So, but there's a wood stove. So having a wood stove, not a fireplace. Fireplaces will actually suck more heat out of a house than they put into it. So if you're going to have something like that, get a wood stove insert for it. It'll be worth its weight in gold, believe me. Okay, so the other alternatives are kerosene. You can get kerosene heaters And they work really well. They're very efficient. Kerosene is relatively inexpensive. It's about 2 to 3 times the price of gasoline usually, but it burns longer and it works really well. And then there's also the propane heaters, like the Mr. Buddy heaters. Those work good too. Those work real well, and I suggest using those. The only problem with these two methods is you have to have a carbon monoxide detector, because if something goes wrong with them, they can start to generate carbon monoxide, and that shit'll kill you. So will carbon dioxide. They do put off carbon dioxide. Not a lot, but enough. So you can still crack a window, get enough fresh air coming in so that you do have adequate ventilation for them. That is very important, okay? So those are good ways to do it. There are other ways that you can do. There are these cool little heaters that people have figured out how to do with a couple of clay pots and some candles and some sand, and those work pretty good. I was actually surprised. I tried one. They work really good. So, but even sometimes just a few candles will be enough. Power's out too, so you're probably going to be burning candles anyway. And also oil lamps, okay? They put out quite a bit of heat. You'd be surprised, and they give you the light at the same time. So have that handy. Just in case power goes out, at least you got light and heat all in one. And of course the kerosene lantern or lamp will work with the same kerosene as a kerosene heater. The idea is to try and double up on how many items, or triple up, or try and have one fuel source for many different items. So that's where propane is nice, because you can get propane stoves, you can get propane heaters, hell, you can get propane refrigerators, all that stuff. So anyway, but I suggest always having some kind of accessory heat available. So that's about it for now for me and Orthus. So anyway, until next time, remember, keep on prepping.